I like games like this with these like insane or crazy stories. I don't want to spoil that much, really. I'm trying to keep it spoiler free. So I'm not gonna describe the game anymore. Let's just go about it. But this is the plus version that I haven't played yet. I only played the standard version of Doki Doki. Okay, please enter your name, Darls. Hey! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. I just realized, you guys, I need to prepare myself for a lot of reading because this game is just full of dialogues. So let me just refill my water real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. Alright, you guys. I hope you have a snack with you. I hope you have a good drink, be it water, a good cup of tea, hot chocolate, coffee, anything like that, because you're in for a crazy story. Anyway, let's proceed with the next dialogue. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. Sounds like me. But if she's gonna chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again, but I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. Hey, you say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Darls. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. Hey, Prats, how are you doing? TGIF. How was your week, Prats? We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. Yes, it's deceiving. Honestly, you're in for a bumpy ride, Prats. This game is not what you expect. By the way, Darls, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. Hey, that's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Yeah, grab a drink, grab a snack, get some comfy blankets and pillows because this is gonna be one hell of a story. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Alright, I hope you enjoy your breakfast, Pretz. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay, why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. Have you guys joined a club in high school? I did join a few clubs, and I've never joined a book club though because I never really enjoyed reading books. But I did join cooking club, a dance club. Surprisingly, I don't dance, but it's actually one of my frustrations. Like, I want to dance, but I just can't, man. It's not for me. I joined photography club, and I think I joined journalism club. I don't remember. But yeah, I joined photography club for my senior year. And I don't know, like, honestly, personally for me, I feel like it doesn't really interest me as much. Like, I don't really have that much fun when I'm doing club activities. I don't know, for some reason. Even if it's like, you know, I like photography and I joined photography club, but I wasn't really like super into it. I guess if it has something to do with school and academics, it's like less interesting for me. And then in college, I did join this org. It's like a music org, but I wasn't like actively participating. Like, they would meet up like after classes and all that. They would rehearse, but I actually never attended a single meetup. And there was just this one event that I just told them that I was gonna perform. Like, it was like an impromptu thing. I just decided like, oh, I'm gonna perform at this event. And I never like rehearsed with them or anything like that. I don't know, I wasn't really like a club or org person. It was just really not my thing. Like, extracurricular activities at school was not really my thing. Honestly, if it has anything to do with school, I don't really feel super interested. I was never really like invested in school stuff. Like, I didn't really care much about it. I just wanted to do my own thing. You never joined a club at school, but you used to man the library. Haven't joined any club in high school and college. You loved shushing people. I feel like I'm gonna be one of the person you'll shush in a library, Pretz, because I don't know. Like, honestly, libraries are not really my thing. No offense. I don't read that much books. Well, I don't read books at all. And I usually just go to the library to hang out. Like, I can't even get myself to review or anything in the library. I just kind of want to talk and yap. Most people go there to nap. I don't think I ever napped in the library, but I do nap in the classroom, like in between classes, or I don't know, like quick naps. But yeah, I feel like extracurricular activities are just really not my thing, because I don't really put that much effort like in showing up. And there was even, I think for my college, like on the first year of college, freshman year, there's like this event at the start of the school year. We call it the Integ, where like students perform, like they do this like entire dance performance, and they dress up in costumes and stuff like that, prepare props for, I don't know, a week. And it was actually a requirement to attend that event, but I think I only showed up like once ever. Like, I joined the props team because I didn't want to perform, because I couldn't be arsed to show up to practice like for days on end. Then I only attended, I think, one day of the rehearsal / prop making, and I never showed up again. So I swear, you guys, like, any extracurricular school activities are just really not my thing. And we would even have festivals in school. Like, they would have this like big celebration, like, because I went to a religious Catholic centric school, and they would celebrate like the feast of saints and all that, and they would have a festival, and they would have events, like they would have raffles, like, I don't know, performances, concerts and all of that. And sometimes they ask you to sign an attendance sheet because they cancel classes for that day, but you have to attend the event. And what I did back then was I would just sign the attendance sheet and then bounce. Like, I would not attend the event at all. Like, can't be arsed to do any extracurricular school stuff. And it's bold of me to admit this now because I'm done with school, but yeah, that's what happened. You liked attending but hated setting up. I didn't like attending or setting up. Like, I swear, I was like the person who couldn't, like, I would just show up to school to study. Like, I don't know, like, just as long as I get to pass. Like, thankfully I graduated on time. I didn't fail any classes because, okay, I don't like extracurriculars, but if it's school, like academics, I lock in a little bit. I mean, I don't super lock in, like, I'm not like the high grade students, but it's enough for me to, you know, be above average. You get what I mean? So yeah, that's how I coped in my academic era. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Same. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's gonna make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm gonna go to your club. What? Meanie? Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. You wouldn't want Sayori to be your friend. She seems a bit pushy at times though. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less relatable. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. Oh, she already told them. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go! Alright, you guys. She is cunning! And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. I glanced around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Yuri is the best girl, you guys. No spoilers, but Yuri, my girl right there. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Darls, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with a sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Darls. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. Oh, Monica in the chat! Hey girl, how are you doing? Thanks for dropping by. I love those cat emotes that you used. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come sit down, darls. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. I feel like Yuri is who I think I am. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there's one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Whoa! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The rule, he say no bot, but I am not a bot. Yeah, well, it's because I always get bots in my chat, but I found a cool tool, which is technically a bot too, but he's exempted. Shout out to SariBot, who helps me ban anybody who's a bot in the chat. But yeah, you're exempted, Monica, if you are a bot. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white fluffy cupcakes. Okay. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. Cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know, just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. Okay, you guys. Okay, chat. Do you actually like cupcakes? Because I don't really enjoy cupcakes, I'm not gonna lie. Because I don't really like icing that much. And cupcakes are full of icing, so it's not really my thing. Like, I would prefer a muffin more than cupcake. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Yeah, muffins are good. I don't like icing. I don't like when pastries are way too sweet. Yeah, cupcakes are soft too. I don't mind the softness, but it's just the sweetness of the icing that I don't really like. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? And I think that's also why I like cheesecake more than regular cake, because usually cheesecake doesn't have as much icing, and if it does, it's not really like the super sweet icing. Alright, Daimyo, thanks for the lyric and good luck on putting the pups to sleep. Tuck them in. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Well, why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did, Sayori said. Same here, Prats. I usually just scrape the icing off when I have to eat a cupcake. Well, maybe, but not for, you, dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table, carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Honestly, a hot cup of tea goes well with anything. And that's why me and Yuri, we actually sync. She's me. I mean, she's tall, she's reserved, she loves tea. I think that's Darls. Just kidding, you guys. I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. You are Yuri, Yuri is you. Hey, that's not insulted. Yuri looks away. I meant that, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... That's okay, don't be embarrassed. Well, make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, to be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. That's true. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah, we'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Darls, what kinds of things do you like to read? Okay, if I were to seriously answer this question, I would honestly just say I don't really read that much books, but if I were to choose a book to read, it would probably be something supernatural or something along the lines of that genre. Like, I don't know why, but I'm very interested in the horror genre. I feel like it's really easy for me to get hooked when something is horror. It's just, I don't know. And that's why I thrive this time of the year, because I get to justify my interest in horror and play horror games. Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. What do you guys like to read? Like, if you guys read books, what genre do you prefer? You love watching horror movies? Same, Pretz. I love horror movies. I actually grew up watching a lot of horror movies because of Loy Man. Like, it would be like our, I guess, tradition before to watch horror movies, and then after watching a horror movie, we would order in pizza, specifically Pizza Hut, and that's why Pizza Hut is very nostalgic for me, and personally I'm very biased and I love Pizza Hut. Ooh, The Alchemist, right? And Mitch album is I don't want to embarrass myself if I say the wrong book, but Mitch album, let me search it. Five People You Meet in Heaven. I know that book because back in high school, that was part of the list of books that we can read for our book reports. You're reading Tuesdays with Maury. I haven't heard of it. Anyway, so Five People You Meet in Heaven is familiar to me because one of my friends in high school did read that book and he actually enjoyed it. And meanwhile, in all of my book reports from grade school to high school, I never read a single book from start to finish. Like, I would just search up the summary online and write my book report according to that summary. And somehow I winged it. Like, there wasn't a book report that I failed or they didn't accept. So that's how I dealt with book reports back in grade school and high school. Like, I haven't read any of the books. It's ridiculous. Take notes, kids. You can actually do that. But don't copy every single word that you see in Wikipedia. Just read it and then describe it in your own words. Paraphrase it. It's still reading. You still pretty much read it. You just didn't read the full text, you know? Not much of a reader, I guess. You're right, Yuri. I am not much of a reader. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Honestly, I would read a book like that. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Me too, girl, me too. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I love horror. She's me. I read a horror book once. I did read a horror book once. I read Dracula, like the first 10 pages. And House of Leaves, maybe the first 20 pages. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that, but if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Relatable. And honestly though, those people who are the most reserved and the most gentle, most of the time they turn out to be those who actually enjoy those types of literature, like horror. Not even just literature, like anything in general, like movies, games, anything psychological or horror. I feel like that's what they enjoy usually. Or maybe I'm just describing myself. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. That's so true. Like, honestly, Mouthwashing, the horror game, well, it's a psychological horror game that I played like a few days ago. It changed my mindset for a couple of days. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I even told Legalize the entire story of mouthwashing. Like, that's how much I was thinking about it. And I just needed someone to talk to about it, so I had to tell Legalize about it. And he was saying how it's kind of alarming how the games that I've been playing are mostly like morbid stuff. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Oh, what? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called "Don't Say It Out Loud and Give It Back." Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sides up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Oh, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Honestly, I agree. Like, if you guys don't know, I used to write songs. Actually, I have like one song up on my SoundCloud that I wrote, but I used to write a bunch of songs, and it feels so off to share what I've written to other people, especially if it's not something that I wrote for other people to actually see or experience. Like, usually when I used to write songs, I would write what I feel, and it makes the song so personal that even just sharing it with someone, I feel really uncomfortable and slightly exposed. So I never put out any of those songs. I think I just put out one. Yeah, I just put out one song. It's up on my SoundCloud. It's called Dream, and well, to put a bit of context to it, it was just this song that I wrote when I felt super motivated to, make music and stuff. And I was just picturing like how my life would be if I didn't stop making music, which it's sad that I left that behind somehow. Like, I haven't written a song in a while, and I haven't actually recorded any music in a while, but I think about it a lot. And I actually, when I was a kid, I really wanted to pursue music. And like, I guess life happens, like priorities shift, your interests shift. I guess last year I got into music again. Like, I used to play a lot of guitar last year, but this year I feel like kind of died down a bit again. I seem to jump a lot from hobby to hobby because I have a lot of hobbies. Like, I like playing the guitar, making music, but I also paint and make art. But I also like playing video games and streaming it. And I also like photographs and, posting my photo dumps. But I also like filming videos and editing them. So it's like I jump from hobby to hobby, and it's really hard for me to put attention into all of them, which sometimes I feel guilty if I don't do something for a while. Like, let's say I haven't made music in a while, I haven't painted in a while. Somehow in my head I'm like, damn, like I forgot about this hobby, I should really get back into it. But then, right now I'm enjoying doing what I am doing, which is playing video games and streaming, and also editing videos. I guess that's what my priority is right now. But honestly, I really want to get back into making music because that was my first love, if we're being honest. Like, it was the first hobby that I really got into. And when I was a kid, I really dreamt of being a musician. Yeah, we don't have to let go of our hobbies. I guess it's bound to happen for hobbies to shift at phases of our lives. And, whatever sticks will stick, and it will always come back around if it's something that you really enjoy doing. Right? It makes me feel really guilty when I don't get to do or spend time doing my other hobbies, but I guess what we should focus on is what we're enjoying right now, and eventually we'll get to that certain hobby that you're thinking of. It's kind of just like shifting priorities somehow. And yeah, life happens. Work is a lot different than school. I feel like when I was still going to school, I had a lot more time to just, dilly-dally and do a lot of things and have a lot of hobbies. But I feel like right now, like with work, I can only focus on a max of like 2 hobbies. Because anything exceeding that, I feel like I would get really burnt out or exhausted because of all the things that I have to do and all the things that I'm thinking of doing. But it's all about accepting where your life is right now. Like, accept what you're doing and just enjoy whatever it is that you're into at the moment. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay. Yes, big hugs, and also to everyone else that have hobbies that they feel they've forgotten and they still think about in the back of their minds. I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Darls? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I have bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. Aww. But I'm sorry, I thought... Darls, you all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy! Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official! Welcome to the literature club! Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone, I think with that we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone, remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Darls, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Darls, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! Same, I would just join. Like, after meeting Yuri, I would probably be convinced enough to stick in the club. Also, you guys, like, a little bit of backstory. I used to write a lot of poems when I was a kid. Like, I would write random poems to my family members, like to my grandma, to my dad, to my mom. And it's funny, like, if you guys see the poems that I used to write, it's ridiculous when I was a kid. I will try to get some of them and I will share it on my Discord just so you guys can see it. It's ridiculous, but it's my humble beginnings of writing. With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Yeah, I actually used to journal. I used to have a diary in grade school and then a journal in high school. I used to do that like daily, like I would write every day. But during college, it kind of died down and I just resorted to writing down my dreams on my phone. Like I have a notes file full of my dreams, and I actually enjoy dream interpretation. Yeah, exactly, Freds. I can't believe you still remember that. I think I shared that like long ago that I do have a dream journal. But yeah, I do enjoy interpreting dreams, and I also look at the patterns of my dreams. Like, I look at how often I dream of something and if there's like a recurring element in the dream, and then I interpret that. I don't know. Somehow it kind of makes me feel like I can use that in real life. Like, it's trying to tell me something. Yeah, it's nice to have a dream journal. And I actually enjoy looking back at the dreams that I had. It's like, so it's not nostalgia, but it's like when you look back, there's like this crazy feeling that you get that it's almost like you experienced it. Well, I guess it is kind of nostalgia, but more in a, I guess, delusional sense. But yeah, recently I've only just been keeping a dream journal, but way back, like when I was younger, I would keep a diary and a journal. I pretty much stopped doing that. I would want to do that again, but each time I try, I have tried, believe me, I tried several times to start writing journals again, but it just doesn't really stick. Like, I can't really commit to it. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Okay. Well, let's make a horror poem because me and Yuri, we have a lot in common, and I would actually write a horror poem if this was real life. So I would go for vertigo, disoriented, frightening, COVID, agonizing, massacre, empty. That's so emo, being empty. Bunny. Tragedy. Hopeless. Contamination. Infinite. Fester. Disarray. Cage. Doki Doki. A heart. Heartbeat, rather. Unstable. Honestly, me. Graveyard. Captive. Death. Hi again, Darls. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Yeah, that was a dark poem. I guess the least dark part of that was the word bunny. But you could make a bunny dark too. Hydrate, you guys. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Darls. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry guys, Darls always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Darls can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. Oh, what do I do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Hey Spades, how are you doing? I know, I would happily get book suggestions from Yuri because we have so much in common. Like, she loves horror. She loves psychological stuff. Honestly, girl, you gotta be my friend. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew, well, you can read it at your own pace. How are you doing, Space? I hope you're doing well, and happy Friday. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monika are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Oh, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed it in the first place, but I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Okay, honestly, you guys, I kind of relate to this, but not in the book sense because I don't read books, but whenever I recommend something to someone, I have this tendency of going back to it and kind of experiencing it for myself and thinking of how that person that I recommended it to will think. Like, let's say I recommended a song to someone. I would listen to that song again and think really carefully. I listen to the song carefully and kind of, I guess, critique it in a sense. Like, I wonder what this person is gonna think about this part of the song, like this verse. Like, the lyrics of this verse is actually really nice. And I don't know, it's just a thing. I like experiencing things that I recommend to people, even with the games. Like, if I recommend a game to someone, it's either I would play that game again or I would watch videos of that game just so that I can somehow, I guess, experience it with the thought of this person experiencing it as well, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's just this weird thing that I do, and it's just funny how Yuri also does this. Like, she rereads the book of, like, the same book that she lent to Darls. Like, the Darls in the game. And yeah, honestly, really, it's true. I feel like Yuri is just me in a nutshell. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about anyway? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Illuminati confirmed. Alright, I just wanted to make sure that I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. I actually like stuff like that. When the story starts off really innocent and lighthearted, but then it becomes even more, I guess, dark and kind of crazy and psychologically deteriorates, if that makes sense. I really like stuff like that where you can see like the characters' psychological, their sanity draining and all of that. It's really interesting to me when I read, especially if it's the protagonist and you're actually experiencing the story as the protagonist. Like, honestly, I'm describing mouth washing. Like, that's literally mouth washing in a nutshell. But yeah, I really enjoy stuff like that where it slowly deteriorates and it takes a dark turn. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Darls? I am. No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. Yeah, honestly, don't be don't be fooled when people are reserved and shy and reclusive and aloof. Because there's a lot more to them. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. Preach, period, Prats. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in, then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I also like stories like that where the protagonist or the main character of the story isn't actually the hero, and sometimes they even side with the villain, or they turn out becoming the antagonist. And when a story portrays a bad character or an evil character, I guess. Honestly, I'm just describing mouthwashing again. I'm obviously not over it, you guys. Like, it's so good. Let me just turn on the AC real quick because it's getting a bit hot. So if you guys haven't experienced mouthwashing the game yet, you definitely should, because that game is just so crazy. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then, but I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. I like this view. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and her forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kinda reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things that she says and does, like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like you can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Darls, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. Hold on, let me just fix the direction of my AC. Because it's literally blowing the air onto me and I don't like when it does that. Like, honestly, I'm not really an AC person. I can even fall asleep with just the windows open and the fan on. Because I don't know. I actually don't really use the AC that much unless it's really hot. Like, I love good ventilation and natural flowing air. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Your back hurts? Oh no, you should rest your back. Maybe you should lie down or, I don't know, rest your back on a chair, a high back chair. Like, do you have any conditions on your back, like scoliosis or anything? This game is gonna require a lot of water because it's a lot of dialogue. Overloaded with pups. Oh, okay. Well, at least you're done. I think too much ADHD puppies. Wait, you haven't put them to sleep yet? Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. They're asleep now, that's good. The cats are asleep too. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well. Excuse me. Reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Let's go for Yuri because we love Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional! What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. Oh, he's gonna hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Huh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Well, you got that right. I used to write a lot of poems as a kid. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. Alright, Daimyo, yeah, you should get to rest. I mean, your back hurts. Thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it. And hope you get to rest well. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. Hey Annie, how are you doing? Happy Friday. I hope your week went well. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Exactly, Annie. Well, good luck on your day today, and hopefully you get through it in a breeze. Because we're all looking forward to the weekend. Get some rest and chill for a little bit. You have any plans this weekend? Thank you, Annie. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah. We've all been working really hard. On the weekdays, we deserve all the rest that we can get. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Ooh, this is a deep poem. Like, I'm trying to analyze it. She's in the shower, or she's bathing, obviously. The last remaining streetlights have withstood the test of time, the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I don't know, you guys. It's super... It's really deep. Oh, it's Thanksgiving weekend! Well, happy advance Thanksgiving! So it's family weekend. I hope you guys have a great time. I just had dinner with my family earlier. And that's why I was late for a stream again. Like, I was an hour late. Because I didn't want to miss out on the family tea. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Oh, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Darls. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Huh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah, if anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Darls. Me too. Who should I show my poem to next? Let's show it to Sayori. This is a good poem, Darls. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course, it's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right, but that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Oh, well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Darls. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Well, we'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. Excuse me. I yawned. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Ah, yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast, even though you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah, but next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I'll look forward to it. Who should I show my poem to next? Let's go for Monica. Hi, Darls. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Darls. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Darls. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easy for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. I actually really like writing like that too, honestly. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed about me. I actually enjoy not just writing like poetry, but song lyrics that aren't like tongue-in-cheek. I don't like tongue-in-cheek lyrics that much. I like song lyrics that let you analyze what's going on. And fun fact, when I was around 10 or 11, I did write an analysis on do you guys know the website songmeanings.net.com, where it's basically a song lyrics website, but people can comment and give their interpretation of the lyrics. So when I was around 10 or 11, I was super obsessed with this band called Circa Survive. It was Anthony Green from Seo Sinner-Sausen's other band. And I was extremely into their music. And I wrote my own analysis of one of their songs. The only difference between medicine and poison is in the dose. That's the name of the song. It's a long song title, but that's usually how the songs were back in those days, emo bands or those kinds of I guess rock or alternative rock bands name their songs super long titles. Yes, I love your club, Monica. I'm really enjoying spending time with the club members. Front row seats to my music debut. Yeah, I was just talking about how I really do want to get back into songwriting again, because I did write a bunch of songs before, and I did release a song way back. I think that was back in 2019, and it's up on my SoundCloud. And ever since I was a kid, I really wanted to be a musician or to have a career related to music, but I didn't really pursue it, sadly, which somehow I wish I have more time, and I guess I wish I could prioritize music again. But I have a lot of different hobbies. It's hard for me to focus on each and every one of my hobbies, and right now I'm just really enjoying streaming and also editing videos, vlogs and all of that. And basically what I was just saying about it is I'm just trying to enjoy whatever it is I'm focused on right now and enjoying it as a hobby while it lasts, because I tend to shift a lot and go through phases. I would have a music phase, I would have an art phase, I would have a photography phase, I would have a streaming phase or video editing phase. Yeah, I definitely still do love music, and I do try to play guitar. I was just playing guitar earlier this afternoon, just a little bit. But yeah, what I would wish is I would get back into it. Last year, I used to spend a lot of time, days on end, I would just play guitar and practice. I was super, that's what I was fixated on. But right now, I'm super fixated on streaming and vlogging, I guess. Thanks, Annie. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. Also, another side note, this kind of reminded me of it because Monica was talking about how Yuri's writing and what I wrote are very similar, which it's they allow their readers to make their own interpretation. If you know me, I love 21 Pilots. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of that band, but I really like their music, and I honestly think that their lyrics are so well written, and I really like how they approach things, because even the band name alone, 21 Pilots, it's pretty much derived from a book. It's called All My Sons by Arthur Miller, and basically the book is about like how an aircraft engineer used faulty parts for an airplane, and it caused the death of 21 pilots. And you know, it's realizing how much like power whatever you put out there has, like, it can really make an impact on a lot of people basically. And also the way that they approach their songwriting is basically, they have this song called Kitchen Sink, and I saw this reel the other day, that's why I just remembered it, where the singer Tyler Joseph, he wrote the song Kitchen Sink, and basically it's, one of the lyrics in the song is, a kitchen sink to you is not a kitchen sink to me, because he said that there's this really important moment that happened in his life with relation to a kitchen sink, and he doesn't want to reveal whatever moment that was and whatever happened in that moment, because it would take away the purpose that he has for himself. So basically he was saying that, you know, you can create something and put meaning to it that only you will know, and that alone can be like a reason to keep living, or you know, it can be your purpose. Like, you're the only one who knows the meaning behind this. Like, let's say you wrote a song and it has this really vague meaning, and you feel like nobody's ever gonna figure out what it's really about, but you don't reveal it because, you know, that's your way of like telling yourself you have to keep going, because if you don't keep going, nobody else is gonna explain it. Nobody else will really know the meaning behind that song, if that makes sense. Like, honestly, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like, it's basically finding purpose for yourself, and I really like things that kind of dabble on that subject, like searching for your purpose. I don't know, there's something about it that really interests me. Thank you so much, Annie, and no worries, thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely day ahead, and thanks for always supporting the stream. Appreciate it a lot. So yeah, basically that's also why I really find 21 Pilots and their songwriting interesting. Anyway, you guys, I'm sorry for the constant yapping, but you're gonna expect a lot of that yapping throughout the game, because this game is basically just a whole bunch of dialogues, and you know, it can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased toward their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? That's so true, you guys. Like, just fake confidence until you make it. Fake it till you make it, basically. Because nobody's really gonna know if it's real or not. Oh, wow. This is starting to sound like a Euphoria quote. But honestly, that quote, it makes a lot of sense. And I love Maddie in Euphoria. Like, honestly, 99% or 100% of life focuses on confidence. Like, you just have to have it. Nobody's gonna know if it's real or not. Exactly, Oxy. Good evening to you too. How are you doing? Hey Danny, thank you so much. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Happy Friday. Anyway, so it's just basically faking till you make it. Nobody's gonna know if you're really confident or not. But it's also good to have a sense of, I guess, belief in yourself. It doesn't work with most females and kids. They can smell it from miles. Yeah, that's true. But I guess some people are really good at faking confidence. Chilling after work. Yeah, same here. Just finished up a bunch of stuff for work before I started streaming. And I had a family dinner. So I was actually a bit late for stream today because I was supposed to start at 9. I ended up starting an hour later because we had a family dinner and I didn't want to miss out on the family tea. So yeah, here we are. We're playing Doki Doki. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Sis and her family came over for the usual Friday family dinner. That's nice. It's nice that you guys have a Friday family dinner tradition. It's nice to have a sort of tradition like that. At least you guys get to reconnect. Faking only works if you replace your anxiety with some other emotion, like excitement. Yeah, that's true. And I guess even more so if the person handles anxiety in a way that makes them cheerful or excited. I know a few people like that. Honestly, I feel like somehow I am like that. Like, I kind of replace anxiety with just being smiley. We live close enough, about 15 kilometers, and your parents have to see their grandchildren. That's really nice. That's really nice for you guys because you get to reconnect and stay in touch. I mean, you guys live pretty close enough, but nothing beats, like, you know, actual quality time, if that makes sense. Like, those after dinner conversations, they hit. Yeah, that works. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a film left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realized now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out, and he on the other side was looking in. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Also, side note, you guys, I've been looking at this part of her hand. Like, it looks weird. Is this a nail? Because if that's a nail, it looks really long, but I'm pretty sure it's just highlights. What was the inspiration behind this one? Anyway, you guys, do you guys have any plans for the weekend? Got anything going on? Yeah, it's just highlight, yeah. But it looks a bit funny, honestly. It looks like a really long and huge nail. What was the inspiration behind this one? Thanks, Danny. Maybe I should actually apply to be an audiobook reader. Maybe I can make a few bucks out of that. If God helps me, I won't do anything at all, just eat and sleep. Honestly though, like, that's a great way to spend the weekend, especially after a hectic week at work. You would pay to listen. I'm actually considering. Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Big cleaning this weekend. Oh, I actually did a lot of cleaning, like, throughout the week, honestly. Like, I would spend my mornings just cleaning. I did declutter my closet and I put up a bunch of my stuff for selling, and I also just brought some to the shipping center earlier to have them shipped out to the people who got my stuff. And yeah, I did also sort out my closet, thankfully, because for a while now my cabinet has been just a huge mess, and I finally was able to sort it out, I think 2 days ago. A good weekend is one where you don't have to get dressed, just stay in PJs. Honestly, that's so true. Just staying at home. I feel like personally I can be a homebody, but at the same time there are days where I do want to go out. You know, like just like last July, since it was my birthday month in July, I planned out so many stuff. Like every weekend was booked with plans, like with other friends, and it was a lot of fun. But I also really appreciated the times where I could just stay home and just unwind. But you know, like, I guess it varies. Like, it depends on my mood, really. What are my plans this weekend? This weekend, I actually don't have plans, I think. I think I'm just gonna be streaming. Yeah. And we'll see. Maybe we'll have a bunch of like family gatherings, but nothing's been planned out yet. Yes, I was very productive. You used to do that, but it got bad. You had more plans than time, so you cut back. Exactly. Like, I guess plans can be fun if you if you carefully plan it out without also compromising or like making sure that you have time for yourself to unwind as well, because it can be really exhausting if it's like plans on plans on plans and then you don't have like a day to rest, and that can really be exhausting. So I get that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Honestly, this quote applies to everything. Like, I think that's a trait of mine that I wish I can get rid of. I'm actually a huge perfectionist, that sometimes I procrastinate or I take a lot longer than I should doing a particular task because I want it to be perfect. And, honestly, we shouldn't really be too hard on ourselves in terms of making things perfect, because sometimes when you're not trying to make it perfect, it actually turns out a lot better than when you are making an effort to make it all flawless. You get me? Like, sometimes it feels forced too if you try to make it perfect, because that's usually what happens to me. I would end up liking the ideas that I write down that I don't really think that much of. Like, I just write it as I go, compared to those where I really think hard and it's like I'm really trying to find the perfect words for this. You get what I mean? Don't let perfect become the enemy of good. Exactly. Yeah. Being a perfectionist can be very stressful and draining. Exactly. Like, you're putting so much unnecessary stress and pressure on yourself when you don't really have to, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna reach perfection. Yeah, it is a good thing for some activities as well. And thank you, Danny. I really appreciate it. Yeah, well, it does have its benefits, but there's also a point where you have to give yourself grace and trust yourself enough that, what you're doing is good enough as it is, and you don't have to try so hard to make it what you think is gonna be perfect. Because, sometimes it doesn't even do good. Sometimes it's like you doubt yourself when you're so much of a perfectionist. There are always some things to do to make this dream a bit better. Exactly. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Who should I show my poem to? Well, we only have one option left, so let's go. Darls, if you're not gonna take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. Would you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? if you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Hey Kaibo, thanks for the lurk. You're scared? Valid. But thank you for the lurk and thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. So, what is our analysis for this poem, you guys? I would say my analysis for this poem is everyone has their own designated purpose in life, and we all gotta embrace it because everyone's different. That's what I think. That's my take on this. If working in a corporate job, often meeting deadlines and quantity is way more important. Yeah, it's different. Like, I feel like being a perfectionist or putting a lot of effort is different for different matters. Like, of course, for work, that is definitely more important. And, you know, for other things, like if it's something that you love doing, if it's a hobby, I guess being a perfectionist is good to an extent where you shouldn't be super hard on yourself to the point that you can't really be proud of what you've achieved in that hobby. Like, let's say I play guitar. I know how to play guitar, but I can't play other riffs as well as other people, you know? Like, there's always gonna be somebody better than you at something. So you might as well just embrace what you can do and don't compare yourself to others, but instead focus on your own progress and focus on just getting better than who you were yesterday, basically. And don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I feel like a perfectionist's trait is being too hard on themselves to the point that they doubt themselves a lot. You get what I mean? Practicing to perfection, exactly. Like, of course, nobody can ever reach perfection, but we all have our progress bars, essentially. And we shouldn't compare our progress bar with others' progress bars because it doesn't make any sense. Why are you comparing yourself to someone else when this is in fact your own journey? You get what I mean? Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. Natsuki, do you like Natsuki? Wait, I'm pretty sure that you have an idea of this game. So, do you like Natsuki most among all of the girls here? It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. Who is your favorite character here? Yeah, I actually don't like Natsuki. She's my least favorite. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I wouldn't take that away from her. Honestly, she's my favorite too. Yuri is my favorite character. I feel like I can relate to her a lot. Her personality and her interests, honestly, I vibe with her. Like, I feel like we can be best friends. You only know the pink hair girl. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watched each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Oh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Ah, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Honestly, same. I actually like dark hair. I had a phase where I did dye my hair blonde, and I did not like it at all because I'm pale. I guess you guys can see it that I'm a really pale person, and dyeing my hair blonde just made me look more like a ghost. Like, I already look like a ghost, to be fair. And, you know, just dyeing my hair a lighter color makes me look even more dead. Black hair is so rare there. No, I actually hate winter. Like, I don't enjoy winter at all. Like, it's the worst season for me personally. I cannot stand the cold. I would very much just prefer a sunny day than a rainy day, or let alone snow. Yeah, it's actually attractive here. A lot of people try to achieve like a lighter skin color, but personally, I don't know. I don't like being this pale. We're from Balkans. Where is Balkans? I'm sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation of that. Yeah, it's more of a fashion trend in Asia, Southeast Asia to be specific. But personally, I don't like being super pale. Like, it's especially if I don't put like lip balm or a little bit of color onto my face. Like, I literally look so dead. And to be fair, I'm not the palest person I know. Like, my mom is a lot whiter than me. Balkans is a peninsula from Greece up to Bulgaria. Oh, I see. Southeast Europe. Yeah. A lot of small countries. Yeah, we actually do have pale genes. I think my mom's side. And I don't know, like, most of my relatives on my mom's side, they do have pale skin. I do wish I did get a little bit of color, which thankfully I did. I mean, I'm not as pale skinned as my mom, but I would prefer just a little bit more color. You get what I mean? You only personally know 3 people from the Philippines and they're all darker than you are. Like, we should compare each other's skin colors. Do I easily get tanned on the sun? No, I get sunburnt, which sucks because I do wanna get tan, but I end up just hurting my skin. Like, I have a really bad like scar here at the back of my shoulder because I think one summer I tried to go tanning without sunscreen, without UV protection, which is terrible and is calling for skin cancer. But yeah, it ended up flaking and turning into like, I don't know, scabs. And up to now, you can kind of see like the scar. It's terrible. I feel like I'm gonna get cancelled for saying the skin color thing, but definitely not. Like, I mean it in the least bad manner. Pretty much, yeah, 2nd-degree burns. Like, you can still see the scar. I think it was a little bit visible in my recent vlog that I posted on YouTube. There was a part there where I was writing on the Freedom Wall and the camera was facing, well, I was facing the Freedom Wall, obviously writing, and you can see like my left shoulder a little bit there, and there's a scar, and it's a little bit dark. It got discolored, unfortunately, and the back of my left shoulder is kind of ratchet. Exactly, it's a must. I learned. And I don't know why I didn't learn, because I guess back in 2015, more than, yeah, almost a decade ago actually, I didn't put sunscreen on my face. I went to the beach and I badly burned like this part of my nose. Like, the bridge of my nose was like badly burnt and it just flaked off. And it was terrible. I had to show up to places with this weird like patch here on my nose, and it was so bad. Discolorations on your shoulders. Berkeley feels a lot when you were a kid making hay and such. I see. It's just a part of the summer experience. That's true. That's basically what happens to me. Use yogurt on the skin when you burn. Ooh. It helps to heal much faster. I will take note of that. Usually we put shea butter. No flavored yogurt. I see. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it. And Darls did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Charles liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what I... Oh, you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Darls appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Ooh. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Darl started showing up. Natsuki. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me, as if they just noticed I was standing there. Darls, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have it to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Darls. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Darls? Chose Natsuki. I actually played this before and I actually really like Yuri. Like, she's the best one. Hold on, you guys. I just gotta quickly check on something for work right now. Also, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, I just gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, you guys, I'm back. Your cats always follow you? Well, I think they're too sleepy to follow me, but they usually do when they're awake. Yeah, she was just posting. She's a natural at pictures. Also, you guys, hold on for a second because I got some urgent stuff for work. I'm gonna be quickly doing that. So we're gonna be stuck in this screen for a while because I'll be doing this behind the scenes. There was kind of a hiccup at work and I was called to fix it. So anyway, yeah, so I was saying Alice is the cat that I posted on Discord. She's a natural at photos. Like she's very photogenic, honestly. And it's like she knows when you're taking a photo of her. Problem solver. Unfortunately. And my cats actually follow me everywhere if they're awake. And usually Sadie is the meowiest one. She would meow a lot. We really should get a better phone to take better photos. Well, there is a charm to the lower quality images. And like right now, people are buying like those point and shoot cameras because it has that particular quality to it that just adds charm, and people actually like that aesthetic. So just food for thought. Maybe your camera is still worth something. Worth to consider. Also, it's something that is not very noticeable, but my phone camera actually has a defect. When I use the back camera, there are a bunch of weird articles on the camera viewfinder that also manifests on the recording. And I didn't actually want to replace my phone, but it looks like I'm gonna have to replace it when I can next year, because yeah, like there is a defect with the camera and it's kind of noticeable when I film videos. I think in my most recent vlog you can kind of see it in some of the footage that there's like some weird particles. Even in some pictures, like there are like these blue particles. They look kind of like, I don't know, squiggles. No, unfortunately the warranty is already up. That's why well, I'm also due for a renewal of my phone plan next year, so might as well just go for that one and get a replacement for my phone. Yeah, I believe that there are some parts of the video where I filmed, well, yeah, most of the stuff that I added to that vlog were from my phone. And there are some shots there where you can kind of see the particles, but I can also send a photo on Discord and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, there's some weird squiggles on the output, basically. Yeah, I feel like it's something that's not super noticeable, but when you really look closely, you'll see it. I don't think I noticed it until like a few weeks, and then I see it in my photos and videos. I hope you guys are enjoying the goofy music while I'm doing stuff for work right now. It's a bit extreme of a word. Also, you guys, I'm actually contemplating ending the stream for now because it is getting a bit late. And I feel like I'm gonna have to do a lot of troubleshooting for work. So this might take a while. So yeah, it's 1 a.m. for me, yeah. So I might have to end it here because I don't know if I'll be able to finish this up in a short while because there's gonna be a lot of troubleshooting. And I really want to get to rest, but this urgent thing came up. Yeah, doing work still. Well, This is kind of like an emergency task that they asked me to do. So I'll be doing this. But anyway, I'll save it here first. Okay. And then I'll exit. Okay, that being said, I know tomorrow I'm scheduled to... What do you call this? To... What is this? Whoa. Yo, I didn't know this. This is part of the plus version. Let's change it to Yuri. That kind of freaked me out, I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't exit the game immediately. Thank you, Danny. Anyway, that being said, I am gonna have to finish this game before I start playing the Blair Witch game that I was scheduled to play tomorrow. So I might actually start streaming early tomorrow since I don't think I have anything to do anyway. So I have a bunch of time to stream tomorrow. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out and, you know, just chatting as I played Doki Doki. And I'll definitely be back tomorrow. We're actually going to be streaming for 5 days in a row starting today. So from today until Tuesday, I'm going to be streaming, which is crazy. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next stream, and I'm gonna try to finish up this thing that I have to do for work, and I'll be also getting some rest. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you again tomorrow.